ancient Rome a world of togas, gladiators, and emperors, but even in this rigid society, there existed a time when the rules were flipped. This was Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. Every December, as the winter solstice approached, Romans celebrated Saturnalia. It was a time for feasting, gambling, and merriment. For a brief period, the social order was turned upside down. Slaves could speak freely, gamble with their masters, and even be served by them. The festival was a reminder of Rome's agricultural roots, a time when everyone worked the land together, regardless of their social standing. From the humblest slave to the most powerful senator, everyone participated in Saturnalia. For a few days, the Roman world was turned upside down, and in that chaos, there was a strange kind of order. The most striking feature of Saturnalia was undoubtedly the role reversal between masters and slaves. During the festival, slaves were given temporary freedom. They could speak their minds freely without fear of punishment. They could wear their master's clothes, gamble with them, and even be waited on by them. This reversal of roles was a symbolic act, a way of acknowledging the humanity of slaves and the arbitrary nature of social hierarchy. Imagine a wealthy Roman senator, accustomed to being served hand and foot, now having to pour wine for his slave. Slaves would often take advantage of their temporary freedom to play pranks on their masters. A common sight during Saturnalia was a slave berating his master, albeit in a playful manner. The temporary freedom granted to slaves during Saturnalia raises intriguing questions about Roman attitudes towards slavery. Whatever the reason, the role reversal during Saturnalia provides a fascinating glimpse into the complex dynamics of Roman society. Saturnalia was a time for indulgence, a time to cast aside the usual rules of diet and decorum. The festival was marked by lavish feasts where both rich and poor could indulge in an abundance of food and drink. Houses were decorated with greenery and candles illuminated the streets, creating a festive atmosphere. Tables groaned under the weight of roasted meats, exotic fruits, and sweet pastries. Wine flowed freely, and the air was thick with the aroma of spices and incense. Even the poorest citizens could expect a hearty meal during Saturnalia, often provided by their wealthier neighbours or patrons. The feasting during Saturnalia was not just about satisfying physical hunger, it was a symbolic act of abundance and generosity. People exchanged gifts, often small tokens of appreciation, such as candles, nuts, or small dolls. Music filled the air, people danced in the streets, and the sound of laughter echoed through the city. Even the most serious of Romans couldn't help but get swept up in the festive atmosphere. Saturnalia was a time for leisure and games. With work and daily routines set aside, Romans indulged in various forms of entertainment. Gambling, normally prohibited or frowned upon, became a socially acceptable pastime during the festival. Dice games and board games were popular, and even emperors were known to join in the fun. Public gambling tables were set up, and fortunes were won and lost on the roll of a dice or the turn of a card. Besides gambling, other forms of entertainment flourished during Saturnalia. Public performances, theatrical productions, and chariot races were common sights. Theatres were packed, and the roar of the crowd at the chariot races could be heard throughout the city. Saturnalia provided a much-needed break, a time to indulge in activities that were normally considered frivolous or even decadent. One of the most intriguing traditions of Saturnalia was the election of a Saturnalicius princeps, a mock king who ruled over the festivities. This king of Saturnalia was often chosen by lot, adding an element of chance and unpredictability to the proceedings. His role was to preside over the revelry, issue absurd commands, and generally embody the spirit of chaos and inversion that characterized the festival. Imagine a slave chosen by chance to be the king of Saturnalia, ordering his master to dance on a table or sing a ridiculous song. The king of Saturnalia's commands were not meant to be taken seriously, but they served as a reminder that during this special time, the usual rules did not apply. The election of a mock king during Saturnalia had a long history, possibly dating back to ancient rituals associated with the winter solstice. In some ways, the king of Saturnalia can be seen as a symbolic representation of Saturn himself, the god of chaos and misrule. His temporary reign served as a reminder that even in the most ordered society, there is always the potential for disorder and upheaval. By mocking the conventions of power, the Romans acknowledged the inherent absurdity of social hierarchies. Gift-giving was an integral part of Saturnalia, but it was a far cry from the lavish gift exchanges of today. Instead of expensive presents, Romans exchanged small, often handmade gifts known as sigillaria. These tokens of appreciation were more about the gesture than the material value, and they often came with a dose of humor or satire. Common gifts included candles, wax figurines, books, and even food items. Children received toys, often made of clay or wood. The emphasis was on thoughtfulness and creativity rather than extravagance. It was not uncommon to receive a humorous gift, like a clay lamp shaped like a grotesque face, or a small statue depicting a comical scene. For slaves, who were often excluded from the usual norms of gift giving, receiving a present from their master, however small, was a gesture of respect and recognition. The tradition of giving sigillaria also highlights the importance of humor and satire in Roman culture. Beyond the feasting and revelry, Saturnalia served as a crucial outlet for social commentary. The temporary inversion of social roles, the freedom of speech, and the satirical nature of many festivities allowed Romans to express their frustrations, anxieties, and aspirations in a way that was normally impossible in their highly stratified society. During Saturnalia, poets could recite satirical verses mocking the elite without fear of reprisal. Slaves could voice their grievances, albeit in a playful manner, and even criticize their masters. The festival provided a safe space for venting frustrations and releasing pent-up social tensions. This element of social commentary, however veiled, played a vital role in maintaining social harmony. By allowing for this temporary release valve, Saturnalia prevented the build-up of resentment and frustration that could potentially lead to social unrest. It was a way of acknowledging and addressing social inequalities without fundamentally challenging the existing order. The festival served as a reminder that even in a society as hierarchical as Rome, there was always room for laughter and subversion. As with all things, Saturnalia eventually faded. The rise of Christianity, with its emphasis on solemnity and its disapproval of pagan festivals, gradually eroded the festival's popularity. By the 4th century AD, Saturnalia was losing its significance, replaced by Christian celebrations like Christmas. The Roman Empire itself, weakened by internal strife and external pressures, could no longer sustain the lavish celebrations that had once marked Saturnalia. Despite its decline, Saturnalia left an indelible mark on Western culture. Many of its traditions, such as feasting, gift-giving, and decorating homes with greenery, were absorbed into Christian celebrations like Christmas and Epiphany. The spirit of Saturnalia, with its emphasis on joy, generosity, and social inversion, continue to resonate, albeit in a transformed form. Even today, echoes of Saturnalia can be seen in festivals like Carnival, with its masked balls and temporary suspension of social norms. The festival serves as a reminder that the human need for release, for a time to cast aside the constraints of everyday life and embrace the joy of uninhibited celebration, is a timeless one. While Saturnalia's influence on modern holidays is clear, its echoes can be found in other unexpected places. Office holiday parties, with their mix of formal and informal interactions, can be seen as a modern-day Saturnalia, where hierarchies temporarily dissolve and colleagues come together in celebration. The concept of the Secret Santa gift exchange mirrors the Roman practice of gift-giving, emphasizing thoughtfulness and surprise over material value. Even the idea of festivus, popularized by the TV show Seinfeld, carries the spirit of Saturnalia. With its playful critique of commercialism and its focus on gathering with loved ones to air grievances and perform feats of strength, Festivus embodies the irreverent and communal aspects of the ancient festival. Beyond specific celebrations, the spirit of Saturnalia can be seen in the broader cultural emphasis on work-life balance and the recognition of the need for leisure and relaxation. The increasing popularity of wellness retreats, mindfulness practices, and the slow movement all reflect a growing appreciation for the importance of taking time to unwind, connect, and enjoy the present moment. In a world that often prioritizes productivity and efficiency, these modern echoes of Saturnalia remind us of the value of joy, community, and the simple pleasures of life. They encourage us to find moments of levity and connection amidst the hustle and bustle, to embrace the unexpected, and to remember that sometimes the best way to recharge is through celebration and play. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to History by Ruby, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.